finish. Whittaker will put the Pirates in front with the best goal we've seen so far. Here come the Saints, fired across the front. Goal by Nancy. Give her half an inch and she will punish you. Baxter, one of the greatest finishes we've seen on any of our broadcasts.
Right, welcome everyone to the State Hockey Centre for the next round of Super League. It's a cold but clear and good night for hockey out here, and I'm Tim White. I'll be commentating tonight, and alongside me is the one and only Holly Evans. So welcome, Holly.
Thank you very much.
And what are you looking forward to in tonight's game, Holly?
I'm looking forward to see some nice slick skills. I think both teams have some really strong players who can show some outstanding skills. So overheads, Thomas, 3D skills, I think those kind of things would be really good to see.
And that's obviously part of the concept behind Super League, to bring all the best players from the clubs together into combined teams, so we do see the best players playing good hockey on these Wednesday nights. So we're hoping for a really good contest, an important contest for both teams to try and book a spot in the final in a fortnight.
I think one of the real benefits of this is you're playing at a higher level. It's a lot faster, a lot quicker, so you have to perform your skills under pressure.
Okay, so we're underway, and Emma DeBro, one of the sassy athletes, lining up in the middle.
So Storm last week were they struggled a little bit against Eastern Saints. So we'll look to see some more ball movement from them, I think. They started pretty strongly though.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing the Storm play tonight because, as you said, you played in the, as we see an opportunity which is well cut out by Gabby Nance, and she was one player that I was just about to mention. So she was not playing in the 6-0 loss last week when the Saints beat them. And I know that Emma DeBro, who's the dual sport athlete who's with the senior women's cricket team, was on a cricket outing in Melbourne. And so having those two back in the team will add a lot of depth to their midfield.
Yeah, most definitely. I think looking to find some really good ball distribution from both of those girls.
So Meg Bourne on the ball, with the Pirates pushing out more aggressively here. So this is Sarah Harrison, who is one of the Port Adelaide stalwarts. She won now about 73 premierships in a row or something. So I've lost count. But there's a number of Port players out there. We've also got some Grange players out there, and we have starting in the net for the Pirates Amy Hammond, who's the Grange keeper, who's just come back from the 21 Nationals, where both teams performed well, made the top four, which is great to see. First time since 2013 that both men and women have made the top four, so that's a good result for the state.
And from all reports, Amy had a cracker of a tournament.
Amy did have a really good tournament. The SA girls were really hard to play against. They weren't able to produce a lot of opportunities. The first circle entry by the Storm, but they soaked up a lot of pressure, and Amy was the only goalkeeper there. They only took one goalkeeper, and she did play a very good tournament, so full credit to her.
Jade Ferguson on the ball now. It's a lovely little ball through from Jade Ferguson. Storm be looking for more of those small little passes.
So that was a really good opportunity there by the Storm. It was a good set play by Emma DeBro. She basically had a quick restart, took the ball out, and then put a chaos ball into the circle, but it was well managed by the Pirates' defence and well umpired by Dan Mitchell, who stepped up tonight. And if he's not coaching or playing, he's umpiring. So there's Gabby Nance, trademark tomahawk, and I'd like to be able to keep count of how many she does tonight. Maybe I'll jot that down.
We'll go for one so far.
So Nicola Higgins on the ball, so throwing that forward to Jet Mallison. Book Buheka just shadowing back and winning possession for the Storm. So Emily Lewis of the Seacliff Club on the ball, so she'll be going back into the back defender in Meg Bourne, and then we've got Jade Ferguson out here on the left. So Kate Holland-Smith's playing a midfield role. Claudia Draper for the Storm is up front. Lucy Holland-Smith's playing a high striker. And DeBro looks like she's floating through the midfield as well.
Beautiful ball there.
Really good ball by Jade Ferguson. A good post-up lead by Steph Baird, I think. And here's a really good opportunity for the Storm. Kate Holland-Smith feeding it across. But unfortunately, a great opportunity, really, into the hot spot, but not able to be capitalised on by the Storm.
You can see from last week, they're just finding their passes and they're actually posting up in a really strong position, so they're not losing the ball to turnover too often. So it should be really exciting.
And again, a good press by the Storm, so almost picked up there by Nance, and they had a good attacking opportunity if she had won that. But the Storm, now it's the Pirates' turn to go into attack. So Harrison entering the circle, Higgins just mishandling it, and Ferguson looked like she's going to mop it up into the bottom corner. So Nance just looking up, looking for support, and that's a dangerous turnover. Well won by, is that Caitlin Abbott of the Grange Hockey Club at Megbourne? Soaked that up really well and has found Claudia Draper as an outlet player. And would have been a good opportunity if DeBro had been able to receive that. So the game has started at a good pace, Holly?
Yeah, I think the, in general, limited turnovers, everything's a contest, so I think it's been quite an exciting game so far.
Yep. I think we might have mentioned at the start of the commentary that's a really important game for both teams. Long ball, just slightly mishandled, I think, by Steph Baird, but she's won that back in the circle. It's a really dangerous opportunity, but the Pirates were able to mop that up. But yeah, with the way in which the competition runs this year, each team played the 21s women before they left. And did each team beat the 21s women?
I believe so, yes.
Yep, that was really good preparation for the 21s women. And so with the Saints winning last week comfortably over the Storm, if the Storm don't get points tonight, that probably eliminates them from the grand final contention in a fortnight. So a really big game for them tonight to stay in the hunt for that grand final spot.
Yeah, and I think they have a point to prove after last year missing out on the final narrowly. So I think they'll be very much looking to attack and attack well. And
with you being one of the key players in the Saints, you lost to the Pirates in the final last year?
We did. So that was quite a frustrating game because we actually let them score against the run of play twice. And then we just attacked and just did not score, so it ended up 2-1.
Right. So probably at the moment, both teams struggling to maintain possession. We haven't really seen a string of passes for a while. It's been a little bit end-to-end, so I would say that both teams halfway through this first quarter would start to settle down soon and maybe look to control the ball a little bit more rather than the sort of run-and-gun tempo which they won't be able to keep going all night.
Yeah, I think the one thing that South Australia in general is we're not great at controlling the ball in our attacking half, especially our attacking 25. So I think if we can see either team start to actually control the ball in that area, I think.
Yep. That's what we'd be looking for. And obviously all these players are, a lot of these players have been named in the Adelaide Fire squad, which was released, I think, last week. And so with the selections of those squads needing to be made in the next few weeks, these games will be really important as they look to push for their spot in that final 18. Almost won by Kate Holland-Smith. She read that well and used her pace well, but it just fell away from her. And here's Wellstead. We haven't mentioned her yet, but she's a really dangerous player. And she gives that to Fechner, also of the Port Adelaide Hockey Club, and out to Lindsay Appleyard, who had a very good 21s tournament. And that, I believe, was Beck Anderson, who is, or McElraith, Beck, oh, I always get it wrong. I think it's Beck McElraith. She's an absolute stalwart. She's played at many levels for a long time. Beck loves her hockey. Played for the Australian Masters, or I'm not going to say which age group.
35.
35.
We'll go 35.
So, yeah, there's someone who enjoys her hockey. So Appleyard looking at her options. It's quite a congested top of the circle, so they're going to have to go wider here. But unfortunately, just in front of Abby Mitten, and then giving possession back to the Storm.
Those types of areas are really interesting in terms of how you set yourself up, and do you look to run set plays and things like that, because you don't want to be turning the ball over when you're in that sort of attacking position.
No. So we saw a nice piece of skill there from Nance. She received the ball from Tara Alistair, who didn't start the game but has now come on. And looks like Lucy Holland-Smith in the middle there, so she may have moved back a little bit, or they're just rotating from sort of through the striker line back into the midfield a little bit. Lindsay Appleyard's having really good presence in the middle of the field at the moment. So Nance in a bit of space here.
Good strength, great strength. That's great.
Yeah, it was. That was Claudia Draper, and having a really good strength battle with Abby Mitten. That's a dangerous ball to the back post. It's really well cleared by Hammond, and then out to Wellstead, and we're going down the other way now. So this is great end-to-end hockey, and we're just too far out in front of Beck, unfortunately.
Leo using what she's got very well, her pace.
Yeah, she's got great little elimination skills, Leah. She also uses that change of pace well, and she is normally a good distributor. That one just a little bit too far out in front. So good movement by the Storm, moving it from one side of the pitch to the other, and then swinging it back into the midfield to Dubrow. That's really well played. So she basically just sort of sucked Harrison in and then fed it into the space that she'd left, but really well read by Appleyard for the Pirates there. Loud whistle there by the umpire. I'm not sure who was warning, but probably the first of many. It's a really incisive ball from Appleyard, but unfortunately not able to be trapped by the Pirates player, who was Georgia Whitaker. So it's been an exciting opening, but there as yet hasn't been a goal opportunity. Although having said that, again, looked to be an opportunity, but the defence went out. That was really well played by Meg Bourne to be able to break down that attacking move by the Pirates. So Wellstead looking to find a player in the circle, but harmlessly left, and that was left by Erin Johnson, who I think is in the net for the Storm. But lifted, and so this will be an opportunity for the Pirates in their attacking third. But unfortunately straight to Brooke Buhecker, who will set herself up on that danger line all day long, or even all night long.
It's an interesting one where if you throw that crash ball in, especially if the sweeper's not quite on the hotline, it can be really effective, but otherwise you're just turning a ball over in a reasonably dangerous area.
Yeah, I wouldn't, well, really great receive there by, I think that's Jet Mallison, but unfortunately couldn't get the shot away.
great tackle.
It is a very contested game. And here's an opportunity, but just mishandled by the Pirates, and now the Storm are going. So Kate Holland-Smith with the ball. She's got pace, but she's elects to feed it out, but just not able to be picked up on the far side by Kira McMahon, I think, is out there.
I think what you're seeing is some really desperate defence by the Storm, but I don't think the Pirates as yet are creating enough counter-attacks so they can attack against with numbers against limited opposition. So I think that's why they're not getting the shots that they're looking for.
Yep. So yeah, I agree. I think the Pirates, when they review the quarter at quarter time, which is coming up soon, that they'd be thinking about the way in which they're constructing their attacking third entries. They look to be trying to force the ball through numbers through that sort of central channel. So Belton on the ball here, feeding it back to Fechner. Dangerous place to try and dribble out with Nance almost winning the ball, but mishandled on the far side by Kira McMahon.
The interesting thing is we haven't actually seen a penalty corner yet this quarter.
No. Yep, so we've had lots of action, lots of goal circle action, but no penalty corners and no shots as yet. Hammond's had to clear one, and it was a good clearance on her left foot, but that's the only time the keeper's been called into play so far. So both teams will now head in for a short break, and we'll be right back after the break. Okay, welcome back to the State Hockey Centre. It's quarter time of the opening match of Super League tonight. The Pirates versus the Storm, currently 0-0. So, Holly, what was your take on the first quarter?
I thought the ball movement through the midfield looked really strong. I thought they were holding possession really well. I would just like to see a little bit more structure as they go into attack. You know, hold the ball, move the ball around, pull the opposition out so you can attack with pace and attack in space.
Yep, good summation. So the second quarter underway, and again, one thing we mentioned was probably too many turnovers, and that was almost a turnover straight away, but Claudia Draper's done really well. Made some good ground there, but it's now a Pirates ball coming out of defence. I think the Storm press looked quite dangerous, and Nance was a big factor in that. Nice 3D skill there from her, which you actually talked about at the start of the night. You were looking forward to seeing. So Sarah Harrison, she got the captain's band on her leg there by the look of it for the Pirates. This is Nance again in the press, so she will do that all day long. She'll leave her opponent set up a fake space, and here she is. She's going to enter the circle here. Really good opportunity for the Pirates, onto Dubrow for the Storm. And flashed across the goal. So that was probably the best opportunity of the night.
Definitely, and that's what we were sort of speaking about, where, you know, you create space and it actually gives time for a really good shot.
I mean, and I really, you know, from a coaching point of view, and I'm sure you're the same, I love that discipline that Dubrow showed by getting it across the face. There's nothing worse than getting into that spot and hitting it into the near side. That is very much a coach killer.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll give Dubrow a big tick for that one.
And Claudia Draper's position, while she didn't actually get the touch, I thought was really nice and strong.
Oh. That sounded very shimpatty.
Oh, yeah.
You could hear it from here. But, I mean, the Storm have come out the more impressive team in this opening 2 minutes of this quarter.
Definitely.
So really good to see Buhecker there spreading the play to Lewis, and then out to the help side to Lucy Holland-Smith, but then turned over and Nicola Higgins picks it up, and But the Storm are set up a bit of a wall here on that half line, and the Pirates are playing the ball in their back half at the moment.
Yeah, and I think uncharacteristically of the Pirates, they're actually just throwing the ball away. They're not actually looking to find those passes, whether it's the press that the Storm have set up and creating that pressure, or whether or not they're just not as mindful as they should be.
Yeah, it's interesting because we do see the Pirates with some of the Port players, and the Port style is they can play both games. They can play it out from the back, but they could also go long and direct and find that that higher striker, can't they? So not surprising to see similar styles come out into this group. So both teams continue to rotate heavily. That actually looks like Celeste forward. Is that Celeste on the sideline waiting to come in? Oh, no, that's Wellstead.
That's Wellstead.
Celeste is not here tonight, so I'm not sure where she is. So Nance in some space here, being tracked back by great pass, but just fell off. So I think that, I think you can put that down to the pressure from Appleyard. She's actually, I would put her in the deceptively quick category, Lindsay, and she's not deceptively competitive because she's just competitive.
Very much so, very much so. And the thing is, she was running with a stick head nice and low, so Gabby would have seen that stick head the whole time.
Yep, so it's a good opportunity with Steph Baird, but again, on cue, Lindsay Appleyard wins that, but DeBro not making it easy for her as she comes out. Turned over, and Nance now with the ball in the attacking 25 for the Storm. Great pass to Holland Smith, and oof. Again, Mitchell's seen a foot there, which was the correct decision, but as we've said, in the first 4 minutes, it's being played predominantly in the front third for the Storm, so the Pirates got a bit of work to do.
Yeah, the ball movement's been fantastic, I think, from the Storm.
And they can't outlet at the moment. The Storm presses, I think they're kind of looking to set up some sort of almost areas that they want them to play into, and then they're looking to win it. So
I think the Pirates are definitely playing into their hands with that regard.
So this is really important play there by Higgins, just to come back and post up and receive, and she'd be looking to try and win the ball there rather than just throw it forward. But Anderson winning that to Appleyard, and the Pirates are an experienced team, so you'd think that they'll sort of play themselves back into it. But the Storm continue to spread and continue to get Nance away, although she probably could have tried to attack the back defender on the left side there rather than go back to numbers. So Wellstead getting it where she likes in space and attacking Ferguson on the outside, and Bookby Hecker as the sweeper doing a really good job there. So an awkward one there for Johnson. Let's say she left that, I think.
Yeah, yep. Any save's a good save, to be honest.
That's right. So the first bit of sustained attacking pressure by the Pirates for some time. So a free hit just on the circle's edge. Not easy to defend here, but it's also more difficult now to get an outcome with the ball not being able to go straight into the circle.
Oop, one down.
So nice use of aerial, but Lindsay, she'd probably gobble about 99 of 100 of them, but that was the one that she didn't.
It's almost the slower ones that you get more time to think about are the ones that you tend to mistrap.
That's right. She might blame her sister for not putting a bit more zip on the ball. So the Pirates setting up a bit of a blind pressing line there by Beck Anderson and forcing them back into numbers. But the Storm skillful enough and well structured enough to play out of that. So again, neither goal has been breached as yet. We've still got Hammond in the net, I'm certain, down there. Verrill, I think, is on the bench also. So we'd probably expect to see a change at half time, but we'll wait and see that. Well cut out there by Holland Smith with her reverse stick down low. So Belton on the ball, passing it back to Laura Germain, who's taken up the centre back role, looking to get it out to Talia Tape on the left-hand side. Again, the Storm now just mixing up their pressing depth a little bit, so they have been aggressive, and now they've sort of sunk back a little bit more to the 50 or 60 there.
Yeah, I thought the Pirates did well at just holding the ball a little bit more. Obviously, they weren't given as much pressure, but I think they'd be looking to hit that pass and not lose track of it like they just did. They've really got to keep possession.
And I think interesting coaching from the Storm, the way in which they've set their playing group up there, because you'd expect that, as we see Wellstead cutting into the circle, but really well cut out there by Dubrow. Nice receive. She's really good with her hands, Emma Dubrow. But yeah, part of the reason that the Storm would have sunk back is they probably backed themselves with a bit of speed, and they're trying to create a little bit more space when they win the ball, as they've done so here and fed the ball into Kira McMahon, I think. Back out to Kate Holland-Smith, but well won there by Bridget Belton.
I like the intent of that pass, just looking for the left foot of Bridget Belton, but there was quite a good hand-eye to pick that ball up. She did.
Yeah, it was a good pick-up. It's hard to do that on your left foot.
I think that's the interesting thing, because when you're playing Premier League, half the time that would actually go through and work, and now that you're actually having to play against players who overall are stronger, you don't actually get away with those passes.
No, which is, again, a real tick for the concept of Super League. And from a coach, it's great to watch. From a player, I'm sure it's great to play.
It is great to play. It's it certainly challenges you, but it also gives you a little bit more time to do things as well.
Here's a great opportunity, and for the Pirates. So Johnson came out and slid, but I think it might have been Buhecker who cleaned up there, as she's done a number of times tonight. I hope your coach gives you the Tuesday night off when you play a Super League game on a Wednesday, does he, Holly?
Oh, sometimes. Depends how hard we worked.
Right.
But it's great fitness as well, so I actually don't mind training.
No, well, I think everyone prefers to run around with a stick in their hand than without a stick in their hand.
So much.
So, yes.
It's better than going to the gym, that's for sure.
Absolutely. That's a really good press there by the Pirates, and won by Wellstead, although she's just going to probably run it into the back defenders of the Storm there. So she probably lacked a little bit of support there, and maybe when she saw that, she could have maybe stopped and pulled it out and set something up again. But I guess she saw an opportunity and went for it. So on the sideline, the Storm in this part of the field are being more aggressive with their press, and that's forced the error from Belton there. So I think the Storm probably at this stage are winning the tactical battle a little bit more than the Pirates, but at this stage haven't capitalised. It's one thing winning the ball in a press, but you've got to get results from it, and they haven't quite had that final outcome as yet. So, but there's still plenty of time to go with a little under 5 minutes left in this first half. It's good to watch the fluid movement of both teams, but it's the Storm who are in possession as we speak. So they've strung some really good passes together there, and that was actually a very good ball, but unfortunately we didn't have that sort of post-up striker that you'd want in that part of the field.
Yeah, I'd love to see that higher striker just kind of work on their sweeper a little bit more. Or sorry, not their sweeper, their centre back.
Yep.
Just to kind of position them so when the ball is about to pop in, they can actually just jump in front. I think being too far away from that centre back can cut you out of the play.
Yeah, well, I think Alistair threw it there expecting probably the striker to be posting back into that hole as well. So the ball fed dangerously into the circle there, but cut out by, I think it might be Alistair again, but it's it'll be a free hit on the attacking 25 for the Pirates. Both teams would be really keen to get into half-time with a goal in the next few minutes. Wellstead dangerous in these situations. We've seen her run into that side of the circle and ping it into the roof of the net on a few times on her backhand. So Nan's probably just a little bit clumsy with the tackle there.
I didn't actually think it was that bad, to be honest.
Play on.
Play on.
Early free by Nance. finds Fisher, I think, from the Seacliff Hockey Club. Nance pushed forward again. So still an opportunity here. The self-play is working really well for the Storm at the moment. And it's created the first penalty corner of the night, Holly.
Yeah, beautiful play, just quick play, take it on. Love to see it.
Well,
great.
I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? You can have a lot of structure and strategy and what have you. And one of the key things that catches the defence out is an early quick play by, in the attacking half, which catches the defence unawares. So what sort of attacking threats will we see on the corner here, do we think?
Looks like we've got an Emma DeBro.
Yep, so 2 batteries. On the other one, Brooke Buhecker, who can sort of slide the ball for a deflection on the right. DeBro's got a pretty good hit on her as well, so a Nance to inject.
Breaking from the attacking team, so you'll lose the dragger there. Nance runs out and they have to replace her.
And that's a new rule, and it's actually a good rule.
I love it.
Because it actually really does penalise the team by losing your injector. So Kate Holland-Smith now injecting. Out to DeBro on the first battery. Lifts it straight into Lindsay Appleyard. I shouldn't be laughing at all, because that was a nasty blow. And I have seen Lindsay take a number of those blows for the 6 games that she played for the South Australian women up in Lismore. She is a brave first runner, Lindsay Appleyard. Oh. She looks to be in a lot of pain. Let's, fingers crossed. Is that a bruise that we can see on her left, just above her left knee already? So it begs the question as to should the defensive players in a corner wear more protective clothing? You know, you see a lot of knee pads being worn by international teams now. I know that the SA teams took away the little knee pad that you slip into the top of your sock, which may or may not have protected Lindsay in that instance. It may have even been too high for that, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's a nasty blow. It is a nasty blow.
I think any protection that you can get is good, I think, because especially say a state tournament or a tournament like this, they're not super long tournaments. So if you get hit, you could be out for the whole tournament.
Yeah,
or out for a couple of games. Whereas if you just wear that little bit of protection.
Absolutely. So fingers crossed that it's just an impact injury and a bad bruise here. Hard to see exactly where it hits her. Oh, it might have hit her right on the kneecap.
Yeah, it's either on the kneecap or on that patellar tendon.
Yeah.
And that's that one that just takes your legs out.
So it's a really bad blow for Lindsay personally, and obviously it's a big blow for the Pirates, because she was an integral player for the Pirates, or has been in this first half, doing a lot of defensive work and also setting up some of the attacking options for the Pirates. So second penalty corner of the night with pretty well, you describe it as a chaos ball fed in. Not easy to handle by the defenders sometimes, popped up off a stick into the body of a teammate. So penalty corner number 2 in quick succession.
Yeah, I don't think the Pirates would be too happy about that one. It's just more basic skill error.
So after the previous incident, I wonder if DeBro has got the confidence to have a hit. You'd hope so. She sometimes can also pull it straight onto her back stick and deliver the Thomas. So that's 2 disappointing corners by the Pirates. The first one into the first runner, and the second one not injected exactly where it needed to be. Upright received by Meg Bourne, but then lifted, and obviously the ball has to go under backboard height when it's the first shot on goal that's hit.
Yeah, I think the Storm will be really disappointed with themselves about those 2 short corners, because they've been working really hard, but just not taking the most out of their opportunities.
They're still really hustling. You can see we're inside the last minute, and they're still really pushing to try and get that breakthrough goal before they go into half-time. Probably on the balance of play, you know, you get what you deserve, but they would probably think that they've deserved a lead. But they just haven't quite been clinical enough when they've had some opportunities. As you can see, really good press there by the Pirates, with DeBro being tripled. So with 30 seconds to go, Nance will probably chaos this into the circle, but Brooke Appleyard is probably one of the best receivers of a ball in the comp, I would have thought. So she was able to mop that up pretty easily.
Looks like they'll just play through now.
Oh, don't speak too soon.
No. It's Murphy's Law.
3 seconds to, and that. Okay, so that brings the first half to a close. So the first quarter was probably a little bit to and fro. Second quarter, the Storm got on top territorially and also with chances. 2 penalty corners to none so far, but the scoreboard reads 0-0 as we go to half time. So join us after the break. Welcome back to the State Hockey Centre for Super League, where we have the Pirates up against the Storm. Both teams in desperate need of a victory to try and push their chances of playing in the final. The Saints are well placed, and I'm sitting alongside the Saints player Holly Evans, who's in the commentary box with me tonight. So, Holly, what do you think about what's going to unfold in this second half?
I'm hoping goals. I think we've seen everything but goals tonight. And, you know, as a state, we really need to look at putting more goals, so scoring more goals.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's what I want.
That's a simple answer, and as a coach, goals is what it's all about. You can have all the stats in the world. As we see a foray into the circle straight away, and almost picked up, and now a great chance for Nicola Higgins. You wanted a goal and almost got one. So that was well defended in the end by, I believe that's Aaron Johnson still in the net. I think that there's only the one keeper for the Storm tonight, and down the other end looks like there's a keeper change with Emma Verrill taking over from Amy Hammond, who didn't have a lot to do, but she's walked off with a clean sheet. So, yeah, I agree, Holly. We had an action-packed first half. We had a lot of turnovers. We had a lot of attacking opportunities, maybe a lack of a little bit of final quality in that attacking circle. A couple of outcomes with corners that weren't capitalised on by the Storm, but let's see what the second half unfolds as Wellstead breaks into the circle, potentially shielding the ball, but Mitchell let that go, but Nance was able to track it and win it. And it's great to see Gabby Nance back out here playing. So she's reconnected. She's played a few games with Seacliff during the season. Dangerous ball and cut out by Wellstead, and now the Pirates will go back into attack. But yeah, so Nance is now, as of today, based back in Adelaide, and she will play the remainder of the season with the Seacliff Tigers, as well as joining the Adelaide Fire squad, who get underway on Monday night as they prepare for the inaugural Hockey One season. So Gabby Nance and Mickey Spano both off to Perth next week for a training week with the Hockeyroos. So great opportunity for them. But let's turn our attention to the game as Wellstead gets an opportunity to enter the circle, but probably just a little bit loose with that final pass, but it's fallen back to her and it's flashed across the net. We've seen Wellstead do that on countless occasions over the years.
Yeah, you could see her drift towards a backstick side rather than take a four-stick shot, but she's just so clinical on that backstick that, you know, you would go there 99% of the time.
Well, you know, I've also seen a player called Holly Evans enjoying going onto a backstick as it's beautifully cut out there by Appleyard, and this quarter has sort of started the opposite of the previous quarter. We had the Storm, who had come out after quarter time and took the territorial advantage, and it's exactly the opposite here with the Storm being pegged back.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because Pirates don't look like they've changed their press too much. So the question is the outletting from the Storm just dropping a little bit, or is it just the general intensity of the Pirates stepped up? Yeah,
I mean, it will be good to match that or to watch that as we go along. And obviously they have probably had a bit of a positional shift. Brooke Appleyard looks like she's sort of moved up the pitch into more of that sort of centre mid role that her sister Lindsay was doing, and we hope, for those who weren't tuned in the first half, we hope that Lindsay's okay. She got a really nasty blow on looked like the knee or just below the knee, off a corner hit from Emma DeBro in the first half, and went down and came off looking very ginger. So we hope that Lindsay's okay, but it's certainly, you know, the structure of the Pirates team looks a bit different. Talia Tate may have taken on that more free defender role, as she certainly is at the moment, and Brooke Appleyard, it looks like she's in a slightly more aggressive position than she was in the first half.
Yeah, Lindsay's an absolute tough nut, so for her to go down, you know, that would have hurt. Yeah.
Good received by Wellstead, but well won by Lucy Holland-Smith, who probably looked at Dan Mitchell and said, I don't agree with that decision, Dan. So I think we'd probably be looking for Harrison to have a little bit more impact in this second half. She had periods where she was involved, but probably we'd see a stronger second half from her. And if she gets involved, then the Pirates will be harder to contain, I think. But we go down the other end now with the Storm having their first opportunity of the half, but well defended by the Pirates' defence, and then a simple outlet out to Mallison, who's finding, is that Georgia Whittaker, who's breaking down the right-hand side, but goes harmlessly over the baseline for the Storm to bring it out from their deep left pocket.
Yeah, I think we've just seen 2 examples of just that little basic skill right at the sort of almost at the end of the pitch where they're looking to attack that they just missed out on. And I'd love to see that pick up just a little bit more.
I mean, it's so often the case, isn't it, in hockey, that the final thing is often the one that's mishandled, and it's often in that part of the field. So strikers often get the brunt of the poor feedback from coaches and fans who are looking for better outcomes. But it is also probably the hardest part of the pitch to get outcomes, given that, you know, they're closely contested often and heavily marked and busy circles and so on. But that's where you do win and lose games.
Yeah, I mean, the defence in both these teams are really, really solid. So you would expect that player to be heavily contested, but I would just like to see that pick up a little bit.
Yep. So Lucy Holland-Smith breaking forward, but being channeled well by Sarah Harrison. But she gets the ball dangerously into assist to Kate. But Abby Mitten, low and strong, picked up by Nance. Dangerous opportunity, but Whittaker wins that, and Nicola Higgins bringing it out of defence for the Pirates. But it's won back by Emily Lewis. So a little bit of, you know, the game's gone up a notch, I think, Holly.
Yeah, everything's a contest at the moment. It's really great to watch.
Dangerous ball by Nance. Almost ended up with Kira McMahon getting into a dangerous part of the circle. You can see there just the benefit of that difficult ball into a circle. So well won there by, is that Kira McMahon again?
Yes.
So she's starting to bob up and be more and more dangerous. I've heard some good news that, you know, Carrie McMahon, Kira's sister, who's in the Hockey Roos program over in Perth, that she's had a long rehab since the World Cup last year, or since maybe Champions Trophy last year in November. And, you know, there is some encouraging news that she's on the way back. It would be great to see her in the Adelaide Fire colours this year. Another dangerous ball into the circle, but really well cut out by Bridget Belton there, I think.
It's a great pickup.
Well, that is probably the play of the night.
That was beautiful.
Lovely interplay. Great feed by Belton into Talia Tate, and then great little midfield connection with her and Brooke Appleyard. So they're looking really dangerous, the Pirates, and as we speak, they're going into the circle. But well defended there by Kate Holland-Smith, and Nance with a bit of space. She's looking long, but now she's looks like she's going to get closed down. But really well played there by Nance. She just waited for an opportunity, and it presented in Claudia Draper, who's now entering the circle. It's to Asta Fisher, who, great opportunity there for the Storm. She, actually, I better check her surname. It is Asta Fisher. So, yeah, she came under notice at the Under-18 Nationals this year. She's a promising young striker. She's, you know, as we say, Holly, it's the hardest part of the field, and she's just got that striker instinct. So I'm looking forward to watching her develop over the years. As we see Caitlin Abbott getting closed down, but she did a really good job to get it out to the help side to Abby Mitten, who drives it long, looking for Beck and finding Beck Anderson. But again, Jade Ferguson, who's been pretty impressive tonight.
Yeah, I think she's defended really, really well. Cut out a lot of those, or at least intercepted a lot of those balls coming through.
Now Jade is with Forestville. Yes. She was out at Northeast, wasn't she?
Yes, yep. Yeah, she's a player who's nice and strong, low, has a good overhead. Very, very strong and useful player.
Yeah, and she's been a really, you'd almost call her a stalwart for, hockey in SA. I remember coaching her in an under-21 team back in about 2010 or something. So it's great to see her playing in this Super League. It's really good to engage someone like Jade into this competition.
Very much so. I think it's one of those things that I would like to see even more so is some of the players who've been around for a while. Typically, they've sort of disappeared and gone off, had kids and haven't come back. Whereas I think at the moment in a lot of the club teams, you're actually seeing some of the sort of older players come back and almost help bring the younger players up and nurture them a little bit more.
Really important, and I think it's again seen in Super League that the engagement of that sort of playing group is happening, and that can only be good for the state. And that and we may well see some of those players in the Adelaide Fire final squad as it unfolds over the next few weeks.
It was a lovely pickup by Georgia Whitaker. She's such a quick player and she's got some nice little 3D skills.
Yeah, she has.
She's a member of the Suns group that travelled to the Gold Coast for finals week last year.
Yep. So almost an opportunity for Caitlin Abbott. But again, Kira McMahon, who has certainly got pace, but really well. Oh, that's a heavy fall between Laura Germain and Kira McMahon. So Nance on the ball. She's probably looking to penetrate here, but she takes it out to the help side. Great pickup by Kate Holland-Smith. Looking to enter the circle, but Wellstead doing a great job defensively. Dangerous ball into the circle, but well cut out by Laura Germain, who brushed herself off and got back into a good spot in the circle to foil that attempt.
I do love how hockey players just get up and get on with it.
Well, the game's so quick, it actually doesn't give an opportunity not to. And I do also love that. I mean, I do enjoy all sports. I love the game of soccer. However, I don't necessarily love the fact that they're able to roll around as much as they do after an injury. But we don't see hockey players do that, and I hope we never do. So still looking for the breakthrough goal. And again, even though there's been a lot of quality hockey, we've lacked quality at both ends of the ground. Neither keepers, now that we've had two for the Pirates, the keepers haven't had to make a lot of saves. We've seen a few balls flash across the back post. We've seen a couple of corners. We've yet to see the Pirates win a corner. So you would expect with some threats in that Pirates team that they'd be looking to do that in the next quarter and a bit.
Yeah, that's something that, good pressure by Rebecca Anderson. It's something that the Pirates are exceptional at. They've got some really big threats, so the fact that they haven't looked to work shorts maybe is something they could probably work on in the next quarter. Yeah,
well, I mean, time is running out in this quarter with 2 minutes remaining. I would certainly, if it was a boxing match, I'd give the points to the Pirates after they were on the back foot in the previous quarter. So whatever the Pirates coaching staff have done in this at half time has certainly set the Pirates up for a better quarter, although they haven't been able to penetrate the net as yet.
So Ash Fechner on the ball now, just looking to move the ball around, get that press up and working. Good receive by Laura Germain.
So Matt Cunningham has just sent me a Facebook message. Matt Cunningham was the one of the under-21 coaches. He's back in New Zealand watching it. So a shout out to Matt, and he's on the Pirates train. So and he's looked at the table and he's basically said that the Pirates won't want to draw a loss here because it's going to make it tough for them next week. So, but I think that would be equally the case for the Storm. So As we've said, the Saints are in the box seat, and both teams here need a result. Really good play, beautiful ball to Dubrow, finding a free player in the bottom corner in Steph Baird. You can just see the importance of opening the field up, and great structure there, because Nance was tripled. She was able to feed the ball out, and then Dubrow found Baird. And a great ball there, Nance. Oh, knocking the ball across, but that's happened on a number of occasions, but we haven't had the quality to finish it off.
Yeah, it's a good touch by the Pirates just to stop that deflection from happening. Nice.
So the final, the three-quarter time siren signals with the score still at 0-0, and we'll be back after a short break. Welcome back. Three-quarter time here of the statewide Super League. And Holly, we're a stalemate at present, 0-0. You asked for goals at half time. You didn't get it.
Not yet.
What's your thinking? How's the game going to open up?
Oh, it's a really good question, because it's there. It's like knocking on the door, but there's just no finish as of yet. As we said, there's lots of balls that have gone across the face for both teams. So I'm just wondering, once one goal goes in, do they then just keep following? Or for the Saints fans, do we just want to draw? Because it will just make our life much easier.
Well, no, Holly, you need to take off your Saints hat, put your commentator hat on, put your lover of hockey on, and hope that it's a avalanche of goals in this last quarter. I'm not expecting an avalanche. I think one goal might do it if there is a goal, but let's see how it plays out. I think both teams will be desperate to break the stalemate.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've been working really hard. I just think the final touch in the circle has probably been missing to a certain degree, but I think also the defence has been fantastic.
Well, we often overlook that. You know, we think about the fact that there's been a few chances and perhaps not finished off up front, but often that is due to the defensive pressure. As we see Claudia Draper doing a good job to peg the Pirates back in and force a turnover, although it's given straight back. Beck Anderson looking forward, really good play to win the ball and look direct there, and to find Abby Mitten, who has got a strong tomahawk if she can get onto it, and on cue she's able to, but I think Brookview Heck has probably been one of the players of the night in that free defender role.
Yeah, she's just been really consistent, just trapping everything. So those crash balls trying to go in are just not effective for the Pirates.
Yep, great ball by Gabby Nance, although Ash Fechner was able to win that. And I actually should give a shout out to Simon and Jen, Gabby's parents, who keen hockey lovers, and I know they'll be tuning in up in Kingscliff as we see the ball going into the circle, and great opportunity for the Pirates, but it's thwarted again by the Storm defence, although Anderson flashes that at goal. Great save by Johnson in the net on her left hand.
That was a lovely shot.
Probably the best opportunity for the Pirates. Great to see from a coaching perspective, Anderson just having the confidence just to take it first time. And I have no doubt that if that was you in the same position, you would have done the same, Holly.
Oh, definitely. I also really enjoyed Nicola Higgins just being strong on the ball. Too many times strikers come up off the ball. She was really strong, just fed that ball back.
Yep. So again, Claudia Draper being really busy on that left-hand side for the Storm. Claudia thought it was the free going one way. Dan Mitchell's got both hands up in the air. There's chaos on the field. There's whistles, there's apologies, and we're going to settle with a Pirates free hit on the half line.
Yeah. You don't see that very often, the umpire going, no, sorry, I was wrong. I love it.
I thought you meant Mitty admitting he made a mistake, but anyway, we won't go there. So Harrison getting well pressured there by DeBro and Kira McMahon, but then feeding it back out for the ball to then go the other way, although it's been won by the Storm, with Holland Smith looking to feed it down the line to find Claudia Draper. But again, Fechner's had some good touches in this quarter. Brooke Buhecker, who we've talked about often, incisive pass, but I think at the moment both teams are looking a bit too direct. There's a lack of sort of patience in the build-up.
Yeah, we spoke about at three-quarter time, that little build-up.
That is a great ball by Nance, and I was actually, lucky enough to be watching DeBro's movement. She was able just to hold and fake and then go into the space, and the connection between Nance and DeBro was really good. So good to see some quality hockey on show.
Definitely.
And there's Nance's 3D skills, which we've seen a few times tonight. DeBro on the backhand, and the ball flashed across the goal again in a dangerous position. Thought it might have popped off of a stick, although it's straight up off of DeBro's stick, and I'm glad that whoever it was ducked out of the way.
Yeah, it's good ducking.
Dangerous pass by Belton, and Draper, who we've talked about being quite busy this half, but again, Fechner uncompromisingly just lashing it out of deep defence. Here's the opportunity for DeBro.
Oh, Baird. Yep.
Baird was able to...
Good quick movement.
Able to drop underneath it. So Nance posting back, but a turnover and an opportunity in the front third for the Pirates if they can string a few passes together. Great pass by Higgins. Caitlin Abbott entering the circle and then winning a corner.
Such a smart play.
So, we love it when, as we've talked about, we've talked about the team's probably lacking a little bit of patience. As you saw there, they won the ball. They didn't go direct. They were able to attack that outside space. Hard for defenders to win that ball when they're moving. And Dan Mitchell saw a foot. Tara Allister didn't agree. The first corner for the Pirates, is that right?
Believe so.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen Brooke Appleyard on the net yet, but on the PC. She'd be the main PC threat here, I'd say.
Yeah, Laura Germain came in late, so.
Chance there, great save by Johnson. Yeah, it was a bit of a spillage. The shot fell and she was on the ground, got up and then dived and read that just as I think Abby Mitten was looking to maybe, or was it Jet Mallison? No, I think it might have been Abby Mitten who came in off the check, looked to sweep at what she thought was in an open net, but the save of the night by Johnson, who's been good this half. She was also responsible for that save on her left hand or left glove that Anderson had in 5 or 10 minutes ago. Really good play there by DeBro posting back up. Nance has done that move all night long. They haven't quite read it yet, so I think Holly Evans might be taking notes, ready for the next time we play against them.
Good running by Nance to get out there.
Oh, Wellstead looking to find Caitlin Abbott, who drift forward. So there's Nance matched up against Wellstead, and she maybe took one too many on. Although there perhaps was a lack of options for Nance there as well. But a good turnover forced there by the Pirates, who Nance has been really good, but they've just probably been able to contain her. Her real sort of dangerous play in the front third. That's great desperation by Brooke Appleyard, and she's managed to keep it in and find Wellstead, who got it in the air and a shot and forced to save. So that was Mallison forcing the save from Johnson again. Sometimes not easy, those ones where the goalkeeper has to bring their feet together.
No, not at all. I do think those nice little quick shots too are not normally expected. People normally say don't shoot from the baseline, but when it's not expected, then it can be quite dangerous.
So the Storm are well and truly pegged back here at the moment. The Pirates are looking by far the more dangerous as the balls come into the net, and that ball has to go to the back post. Unless they're finding a player who drifted to the baseline on that near side, that is a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, you either want to get that T-point kind of area where then the ball can be thrown back into the spot, or you're looking for a deflection and you can't deflect from that side. Well, most people can't deflect from that side.
No, it's a pretty difficult deflection. So a dangerous ball there by Bourne. She does often look to go long, and you had Baird floating into that bottom corner, but was it actually called that it was off a Pirate stick? Or is it gone out deep in the corner? Yeah,
quite deep. Yeah.
So a really difficult spot. You need someone with a long overhead, and great to see Talia throwing the ball, but won the ball on the 25 by Kate Holland-Smith, and now Asta Fisher, I think, looking to enter the circle. So Nance will have a free hit on the 25 here, with the Storm looking to break the stalemate. Just out in front of Emily Lewis there, so she wasn't able to control that.
So the one thing I think that the Storm did really, really well in the first half is they connected really well. They had lots of small game type movements, and I think they're just going a little bit longer now.
They've had a couple of press wins in the last minute or so. I mean, interesting to see if either coach is going to look to change the structure to see if they can unlock this game. I mean, could look to either change the structure, could be a change of position. Could the Storm could you pull a goalie? Could the Storm look to throw Nance into the striker line for 5 minutes and see if she can do some damage, for example? Beck Anderson in these situations is often dangerous because she'll float quite high up, and when the ball's down the other end, and a long ball can leave her one-on-one.
Lovely ball opening up space.
Brooke Appleyard, an important touch, but Draper wins it back. She's been
very nice.
She's been good tonight. And here's an opportunity with Nance in this part of the circle. Probably the best chance for the night. She's trying to get it onto her favoured Toma, and she did, but wonderful save by Emma Verrill, who really hard to see them off the stick as a keeper, and she just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Once again, really good circle defence.
That's a good pass to spread the play out to the right half. I think it was Buhecker drifting forward there. Here's a replay of that Nance shot again. So yeah, Vera would be happy, really happy with that save. So we're in the last 5 minutes here. Again, an exciting contest, lots of really impressive hockey, but the goalkeepers are winning out at this stage.
Yep.
I mean, the thing that I've been most pleased about in this second half is that we have seen the goalkeepers in action. We saw good hockey. We saw opportunities to get into the circle and to shoot, but we didn't see a lot of outcome in the first half. In the second half, we got a lot more outcome. Verrill's made 1 or 2 good saves, and Johnson has made 2 very good saves. That's a really dangerous ball, And I mean, was probably there as soon as the umpires hear a stick clash. They're keen to get it out of their circle. You know, perhaps the Pirate striker, the Storm striker, that was Kate Holland-Smith, just needed to be a little bit more careful with the way in which she went in there, because they had Claudia Draper coming in to support her there.
I love the intensity of that press, though. Everyone getting up and getting there.
Absolutely. You can't press individually. It's got to be as a unit. So momentum, you know, currently with the Storm now. They've turned it around. Nance with a good opportunity, but it just fell off her backstick there.
With 3 minutes to go, what would you change?
If I was, depending on how the ladder stacks up, I wouldn't take the goalkeeper off, but I would look to play a more... Oh, great trap by him. So, again, probably the best chance of the night comes with 3 minutes to go. Just when we were talking about what would you change, well, didn't have to change anything if Wellstead tomahawk Nicola Higgins, the trap of the night, I think. And then she cleverly lifted it over a sliding Erin Johnson in the net, but it just went past the post.
Erin Johnson again, though, going out, putting pressure on that shot.
Yeah, she's been good. But yeah, I would, as we just see this ball going harmlessly over the baseline, but I would be more prone to keep the keeper in, but to push up through the middle and probably go man-to-man with the sweeper sort of almost playing two roles, and just release your centre mid into more of a dangerous part of the field as an extra attacking mid or an extra striker.
Yep.
You know, that was is my preferred way of going about it, although this is a dangerous turnover there as DeBow tries to dribble out of a triple. So just an awareness there needed of the fact that I am getting closed in from all sides, to then throw the ball probably back out, and then obviously the press is quite condensed, then you can then look to shift it around the outside.
Yeah, I mean, that's the situation you do want. You want that press to get all quite narrow, so then you can chuck it around.
Yep, so final 2 minutes with, you know, the best, well, we've had two really good chances at either end, one to Nance on her backhand and one to Nicola Higgins, wasn't it, on the on that opportunity that was set up by Wellstead. So, yeah, both teams still looking to try and unlock the way to score the winning goal.
It's actually unbelievable that there hasn't been a goal yet, given the...
And here's an opportunity, because we've got a 4-on-3, and Nance on the ball. And she looks to try and slip it to Kate Holland-Smith, who's on the end of it, but the Bridget Belton able to get a stick in there, and the ball flew harmlessly over the net. But we still have a minute to go, and the Storm will have the ball on their attacking 25 with DeBrow on the ball. So every Pirates player back in defence now, trying to hold them back. Really dangerous ball. Beautiful ball in there by Meg Bourne, but it's another long corner. Restart on the 25. DeBrow again. Spreads it wide. Bourne probably she'll probably go out wide here. So she's found Lewis in a dangerous position. Oh, and we found a foot. So Brooke Appleyard protesting, I think. I really like that play from the Storm, because when the ball was fed to Bourne, the assumption with the hit that Bourne has, that she was going to try and penetrate the circle, but they came at her. She was able to find a free player who had extended up the line on the left-hand side, and Emily Lewis. And again, just a hopeful ball into the circle, which has found a foot and given the Storm the chance to win it with 20 seconds to go. Ooh. So Nance, interesting, is on top of the circle here. So will it go to her for her trademark backhand?
Yes, it will.
And unfortunately, she went too wide and lifted. So, yeah, as soon as Nance was setting up on there and not injecting, you didn't have to be a Einstein to work out that she may be involved there. And that brings the match to a close.
Wow.
So, as we said, the game definitely improved in terms of outcomes as it wore on. At half-time, there was a lot of good hockey without a lot of goalkeeper action or goalmouth action. In the second half, we saw a lot more of that, but we saw the goalkeepers who were able to pull off a number of saves from both teams, Holly.
Yeah, I think the defenders ruled that game. Great play, but just we weren't able to get good shots in good spaces a lot of the time.
Yep, so the final score in the first match of the Statewide Super League tonight is the Storm 0 and the Pirates 0. Great to see a good contest though. Sometimes 0-all draws can be exciting. I think we saw one of them tonight. And so we'll be back after a break for the men's game between the same two teams.